Good morning, Soul Fam. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. You know, the sun makes these videos difficult to record. But I wanted to get into suffering during your awakening. You know, a lot of us think, oh, awakening is just this blissed out state. We have this idea that, oh, it's free from suffering. It's peace, harmony, balance. And that it is. But not in the beginning. Not in the beginning. And our mind loves to take our spiritual concepts, our spiritual truths, and use them against us. And a lot of the times we're not even aware. We're not even aware. For example, all of a sudden you start going through this awakening and you start doing research and you find out that your body, your vibration will raise a lot faster if you follow a plant-based diet. So you begin starting to eat more of a plant-based diet and your ego mind's like, what are you doing? This shit's terrible. Where's the real food at? Like, wake the fuck up. Quit trying to be someone you're not. But you ignore them thoughts and you continue to eat plant-based. 3 months go by, you're doing great. But you have this craving, this insatiable craving for bacon. But you don't eat plant products no more, or you don't eat animal products no more. But you're really craving this bacon. So you give into it. And then there goes that ego mind, like, and you think you're spiritual. If you're spiritual, you would have never eat that bacon. As a matter of fact, if you were spiritual and you were awakening, you would have never even had a taste for that bacon, because true awakened souls don't crave animal products. So now that spiritual truth is being used against you. Here's another one. You know, you start a meditation practice and you have this, your favorite crystal that you use during your meditations. And you've had a few powerful meditations while holding that crystal. And then one morning you know, and during that meditation, your mind's like, God, it's a fucking rock. Get over it. It's not doing anything. You're stupid. You're fucking thinking this rock's giving you these superpowers. God, you're fucking smoked. And you're hearing this all go on. And you just ignore it. You're like, whatever, ego mind. You always know everything. And then, you know, one morning you wake up to go meditate. And you got your incense lit. You got your solfeggio frequencies on. And everything's going. And you're in your, you know, observing your thoughts. 5 minutes go by. You realize, wow, I don't have... Your mind's like, you don't have your healing crystal. You better get up and go get it. Now, the ego mind says, you need that crystal. Because it's a good reason for you to get up and move around. Because the ego, the last thing the ego mind is to be set in place and told to sit down and be quiet. And a lot of our suffering is because of this egoic mind using our truths against us. But what is true? That gets into another topic that causes our suffering. You know, we start going through this awakening process and we do all this information, you know, and we start finding out, wow, people who go through awakenings meditate. They love to meditate. God, I need to learn to love to meditate and meditate more. But you just can't seem to sit your ass down for more than 5 minutes at a time without getting up. And you're just like, God, I suck. I can't do this. I'm just terrible. I guess I'm not going through this awakening. I guess I'm not spiritual or whatever it is. You know, I'm just using these words, these labels. You're so much more than that. So, it makes you question yourself. Because in our minds, we created this belief that in order to be spiritual and awaken your soul, you have to meditate. It's a mandatory, which is not true. It's only true if you believe that. You know, back on the diet. Oh, I've done all this research and it seems as though my body, you know, my mind and spirit will transcend a lot faster if I just eat a plant-based diet. And then you just can't seem to just be making the right dietary choices. You always fall back to animal products, and you're like, God, I'm so terrible. I shouldn't even like these animal products, because if I was really spiritual and I was really going through an awakening, I wouldn't even have a taste for these things. And then we have this belief that we have to eat this certain way in order to allow this experience to unfold, this awakening. But that's just a belief as well. Believe me when I say this. You're doing everything that you're expected to do right here in this present moment. But the idea is that you're not, that you could be doing more, or you could be doing a less of this and more of that. Those are just ideas. They're not even true. And that's just the egoic mind using your spiritual concepts against you. So sometimes it's important to just even remove these concepts. I've been like, the only difference between a woke person and a sleeping person is I'm aware that I'm an aspect of God. He is me and I am him. And us together equals my essence. So, knowing that, and knowing I just fucking completely brain farted. Maybe I should talk. I notice when I talk a lot slower, I tend to forget. So, be mindful of the egoic mind, using your spiritual truths against you, your spiritual concepts, and be mindful when you hide behind your spiritual concepts, because at that moment they serve a purpose. So, yeah, some people eat plant-based diets. Yeah. Or I should say some awakened souls eat plant-based diets. Some awakened souls meditate. And some awakened souls do yoga. But that's just a few things that they do. There's so much more. And there's some people that don't do them things. Does that mean that they're not on their path? No, we all are. Even the most fucking sleeping giant is still on their path. We're just at different levels of this awakening. And true compassion is accepting that you are where you are. There's nothing wrong with that. And that person is where they're at, and there's nothing wrong with that as well. So, I encourage everybody to remove all the beliefs and ideas that in order to be this, you have to be doing that. And it's not true. And if you could just let this process unfold without expecting it to go a certain way, you'll relieve a lot of your suffering. It's going to go how it's going to go, because that's what's in greatest service to you, where you learn your greatest lessons. And once we accept the fact that that's the whole reason why we're here, is to experience this duality of hot and cold and good and bad. Without it, there would be no point of coming here. And no matter how difficult it gets, remind yourself that nothing is permanent and everything changes. And just know that how you're feeling is temporary. It's temporary. And at any moment it could pass. And just be with that feeling and confirm to the mind that it's creating an illusion in the mind. And the only reason why I'm feeling this way is because I attached a belief in the past that this ain't supposed to be happening. So if I could just remove this idea that I'm not supposed to feel this way, and I'm not supposed to be having these thoughts, and everything should be rainbows and butterflies on this awakening. Because it's not. It's not. And it's all a dream. And the more you confirm it as being a dream, the more dreamlike it becomes. The more dreamlike it becomes. So, be mindful and aware. And if you continue to do that, you're going to transmute all that low fucking dense vibration that is hanging around. You're going to remove it because that's how it's done. So many times in our past, a common occurrence would be, okay, I have this thought, I feel this way, and I don't acknowledge it, and I just allow it to pass by. And then what that says is, oh, it must be true because he didn't have any objection to it. So it continues on, and it gets stronger and stronger. And the more I fear it, and the more attached I am, or the more I resist it, the stronger it gets. And the only way to transmute it is to be with that feeling, experience it, confirm that it's not real, and that at any moment it's going to pass. And the more that you do that, the less these emotions come up. And that is the art of alchemy. Transmuting lead into gold. Negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Because you're an alchemist. You just forgot. And now you're remembering. And it takes time. So just be patient with yourself. If you're practicing self-love, you're practicing unconditional love. The number one attribute of love is patience. Love is patient. And if you find yourself being impatient with yourself, then that's a clear indication that you don't have enough self-love in your everyday life. So ask yourself this question. What could I do? Quit pretending that you know as well. And just connect to yourself and say, well, self, I'm sick and tired of pretending that I know what is in best service to you. What is it that I could do that will assist with letting go of this experience? Or whatever it is. Quit pretending that you know. And just ask. Same with your lover, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife. Instead of pretending that, you're this fucking sex machine, fucking lover that knows how to love everybody exactly the way they need to be loved, you'll be a far greater lover if you just ask. Say, hey, how could I love you more? What is it that I could be doing that I'm not doing? Or maybe I could do more of? And ask yourself them questions as well. Love is patient. And you are that. Have a blessed day.